Oh, Hi, I'm Leathur Rokk. This is Tabby Boy. Welcome to my Saturday night live stream. Tonight, let's talk about the Million MAGA March and the Stop the Steal March in Washington, D.C. I intended to be there. I really did think about it. For about 3 or 4 days, I considered it. But the more I thought of COVID-19, and then they started the surges, and it's been getting so serious, and more states have been having these lockdowns and telling people that pretty much the holidays are canceled. And I can't expose my mother to this, but I already started packing, and I committed to at least packing, and I, until like 2 days before, I really thought about going, but then I started watching all these things, these videos on demand, and it was really scary, and I couldn't in good conscience go. And now that I saw some video clips of just how close the people were, there's no way you could do the 6 feet distance. There's absolutely no way. And if I was going to get any kind of good footage, there's no way I could have done that. And then I heard that even though it was nice and peaceful in the beginning, the later it got, the more there were troublemakers, and Antifa did show up. And I was not surprised about that at all. Matter of fact, one of the things that I thought of when I was packing is dressing in such a manner so that I could run if necessary. You know, it impacts your choice of footwear. It definitely impacts your choice to be as comfortable as possible. And I was also wanting not to wear any clothes that would make me blend in with Antifa. I didn't want to wear a bunch of black, in other words, you know. I noticed the temperature dropped. I don't know if that's the case for in Washington, D.C., but here in Atlantic City, it definitely got colder. It's probably, I didn't check the weather today, but I'm guessing it's got to be in the 50s. And it might rain a little bit tonight or rain some tomorrow. So I didn't go out at all today. Just to check the mail. That's all I did. I'm working on this wish.com order. I'm going to get some more face masks. I saw that they had red and purple, all different colors actually, of N95s. And it looks like we're going to be wearing masks for a while. So even though I still haven't gotten all of the order that I made the last time that would include some of the more decorative face masks, but I thought it was good to get some more of the medical grade kind. Oh, I wanted to take a little bit of a break from the MAGA stuff and the COVID-19 stuff, and I want to mention that I was looking for mascara today, and I decided to break out one of the new ones that I ordered on Wish that actually came over a month ago. And this is a waterproof mascara from a company called Vankina. And this is the 1 second volume mascara. And when I first took a look at the brush, I wasn't all that impressed because it didn't look like any different than a lot of other mascaras. But let me tell you something. I honestly felt that it looked like it had fibers in it, and it looked like it really did some lengthening and some thickening. And I didn't have to put 10 coats of it, and I really felt like it made something out of my nothing see-through lashes. So I'm going to try to give you a close-up. So I'm going to have to definitely remember this. One thing I will say, the handle is a little bit on the big side. I would have liked it to be smaller, but and I am pretty sure it's waterproof but I think it's a washable waterproof. The reason why I say that is when I was applying it, I got some of it. It's the applicator slipped out of my hands, and when it flipped up in the air and I caught it, some mascara smudged on my hand, and I let it dry for a while. And when I was washing my hands with enough effort, I was able to wash it off. There are some kind of waterproof mascaras that you actually have to put an oil on, or use a soap like uh, Dawn. That you notice that they have an ad campaign now where they show the wildlife that's been impacted by oil spills, and they use Dawn to degrease those birds. So I used Dawn to finally get the mascara off on this other mascara that actually I wanted to clean its wand. I like to save most of the wands from mascaras, unless it's something that not only did the mascara itself suck, but its wand was very nothing to write home about. And the mascara wand that I'm referring to is actually this L'Oreal. Um, oh, I don't remember exactly the name of it, but it's the one that had the logo that looked like a laced up corset. And it had a primer on one side and a mascara on the other. And I was so disappointed in that. Now, it was more expensive than I normally spend, and it was just a drugstore mascara. It was like, I think I spent around $10 and something, or maybe it's just a little bit less than that. But still, that's much more than I normally spend for mascara. And considering it wasn't something high end, it was something that I got. It was one of the last things I got at Rite Aid before Rite Aid turned into Walgreens. And Walgreens, the prices are so ridiculous. And it's just this really big, overwhelming store that I really don't like going in there unless I have a specific reason. I have to, pick up something at the pharmacy or something, but it's just too big and overwhelming. And with the prices that really aren't worth it, just, and plus with this pandemic, it's really, I don't find shopping in stores, physical stores, to be very much fun. I find the whole process very intimidating. When you feel like everybody's potentially might have cooties, and oh, speaking of somebody who has cooties, I know somebody here has cooties. Oh, you want to see somebody with cooties? Look at that. Yeah, want to see some kitty cooties? I want to show you some kitty cooties. Kitty cooties. Kitty cooties. I got kitty cooties. You got kitty cooties? You want to see the kitty cooties? I'll show the kitty cooties. Kitty cooties. Oh, got the kitty cooties. Oh, no. What? What? No. You sound like you're being absolutely tortured. I'm afraid some neighbor is going to call the SPCA thinking some terrible, weird stuff is going on here. Maybe I'm using you for some really malintensive purposes. And they say, oh no, we're going to come in and rescue Cassie, the garden cat. Something's happening to her. Oh no. Oh. So. Do we want to talk about the election and if President Trump really has any chances at getting his second term, or if all hope is lost and we're going to just have to get used to seeing President Biden? I have real mixed feelings about how he's saying that we should just bury the hatchet and have this peaceful transition of power and all that stuff. But I remember the Democrats' attitude when Trump took office. I remember when so many boycotted his inauguration. I remember the disrespect of Nancy Pelosi and so many in her party and the different passive-aggressive ways they chose to voice their protest, and they felt that his presidency was not a legitimate presidency. And it took them years to give him any kind of respect, and any respect they ultimately gave him was begrudging at best. So now we're supposed to just forget all about this and act like everything's fine and all right. So, you can't always get what you want. And we've got this Democrat socialist who's going to basically reverse most of the policies that President Trump enacted. And they were talking about him reversing the quote unquote Muslim ban, which we know it wasn't a ban, it was a pause, but still, the whole idea of him getting rid of all of these immigration policies is terrifying. And there, I've heard talk that maybe he would try to have the wall dismantled. And can you imagine changing the immigration quotas? And can you imagine, instead of it being merit-based immigration, it'll be back to actually preferring the countries who would have the least to offer the United States, the countries that have the greatest chance of us having terrorists infiltrate them because they do not get vetted enough. Cassie, come on, knock it off. Hey, can you see I'm trying to do a live stream now? She's deaf. She's not doing any good. All right, want me to put you down? I guess you do. I guess that's pretty obvious. I have to be stupid not to know that. All right. All right, I put her down. The song of her people has quite the crescendos, doesn't it? I haven't been following exactly what's going on in Washington now, but from the aerial pictures I saw, the people were very, very close, and there were a lot of them. And I would have been trying to balance my computer that I would have been carrying to film with. I wouldn't have bothered chancing my camcorder, since I still haven't learned how to take off the time and date stamp on it, that I'm sure is not even the proper time and date. And it would really be disadvantageous for me to slip and fall and drop a computer, or have it knocked out of my hands by Antifa or something. So I could see a lot of practical reasons why it's just as well that I didn't go. And I should have figured out that they were going to try to antagonize and interact with the Trump supporters. And when I looked at just how many it was in the aerial thing, when they called it the Million MAGA March, I thought that was just a happy exaggeration. And I really did think that the fact that we're in the middle of a pandemic, that would have impeded how many people would actually show up. But because it is a pandemic, I don't feel as guilty about missing it. It's something that normally, because I live close enough to Washington, it's almost like normally there would be no excuse. But with the pandemic, and they're having all these travel advisories in so many states that have all but forbidden travel. They don't want you traveling for the holidays. They don't want people coming into town. They don't want people leaving town. And if they don't want you traveling for Thanksgiving, I would imagine a whole bunch of people, thousands and thousands of people, gathered together for a celebration or a protest or whatever. I can't imagine that being a safe thing. I didn't see any close-up pictures of people. I don't know how many people bothered wearing any kind of facial masks, any kind of protection. Now, a couple of hours ago, my mother was telling me that she was watching one of those on-demand videos. It was all about different kinds of facial masks. And she said that what it said was the kind that I usually wear is the best kind. She said next to the N95 surgical mask is the next best thing. And then on and on. And apparently the worst thing that you can wear are those gaiters and those clear shields. They offer absolutely no protection against small droplets. They're open on the bottom, and airflow can just come up. The only thing they can do any good at is maybe helping things from hitting your eye, I would imagine anybody that wears glasses that would have the same kind of protection. Cassie, I got all kinds of cat hairs, and they tickle my nose, tickle my chin, and tickle my eyes. Thanks a lot, cat. I gotta find Tabby Boy. I'm gonna find somebody. Let's go. Tabby Boy, or Cassie, or somebody. Nobody's here. Wow. Is anybody in here? Oh, Tabby Boy. Tabby Boy, I see my Tabby Boy. Oh, you want to see Tabby Boy? Here, I'll show you Tabby Boy. Tabby Boy. You know you're cornered, don't you? Unless all the grow room door is open. I hope you didn't knock over anything. I'd be very upset if you knocked over anything, Tabby Boy. You know you're not going to hang out there anywhere near the litter box. We don't do that. Tabby Boy. Tabby Boy. Psst. Tabby Boy, come on. Oh, yes. Okay. That's right. Go in my room. That's right. Good. Don't go under the bed. That would really suck. Okay, good. I got you where I want you. Very good. Okay, see? Now, I got my Tabby Boy. My Tabby Boy, hello. I have my Tabby Boy. Look who I got, my Tabby Boy. Oh, say hello to everybody wants to see my Tabby Boy. There, see, you glad I didn't go? Huh? So I would have been there one day, maybe two. And then where would I quarantine? I would have to find a place to go for 2 weeks and then get tested before coming back here. Otherwise, what if something got on to me and I got them sick? And I got them and say I forgot to wash my hands and I pet you and I got it on you and they pet you and they got the gungy bunchies. The China flu. China flu from you, from me, onto you, and they get it too. That's not good. No, it's not good. Oh, I don't think they give the vaccine to kitties. Unless maybe they test it on kitties. Oh, I love you, my baby. Oh, my baby. This is my baby. Oh, kisses, kisses. I'm getting kisses from my cat. Yes, I get kisses from my cat. You're nice. You got a warm forehead. Oh. Yeah, I hope you don't get the Rona. Oh, I'm getting kisses. See, Tabby was giving me kisses. Oh, Tabby was giving me kisses. So, this all week I've been working on a vlog. Earlier today, I actually thought that I would have it edited up and I would have it made up into something to post today, but I realized that it wasn't going to, there's no way I could have edited it up and posted it tonight and had it be meaningful and interesting. So I decided that I would just live stream and it would give me more time to actually talk about what I missed out on and all the mixed feelings I had about it. Oh, I'm getting kisses. I'm getting kisses. My cat's giving me kisses. Oh, I'm getting kisses. I'm getting kisses. I'm getting kisses. Oh, you kissed me on my mouth. I'm gonna have to wash my hands. Oh no, you're giving me gungy bunchy. Yeah, I'm going to have to wash gungy bungies. I'm sorry. I don't do mouth kisses from kitties. I love kitties, but Oh, I know. The silk is right here. Yes. There. He gave me Genji bungees. I hope not. Alright. Oh, where am I going to put this? Oh. Good. I thought Tabby Boy snuck into the program. He didn't. I don't need him making messes. Sometimes he knocks plants over on the sides. Sometimes he gets in clothes and stuff. I think there's no kitties in here now. Boy, it's sounding like Saturday night out there. A lot of very happy, messed up people. But hey, it's Saturday night. And in a resort town like this, gotta figure. And I'm sure there's people that are happy that there's most likely going to be a Democrat in the presidency. That's gotta have some people happy. So I'm glad that I have a lot of black clothes. I'm going to be wearing a lot more somber colors now while I have them. I'd rather wear brighter, happier things, but I figure I have the wardrobe. Why not wear it, right? So you noticed I have not can I speak? I have not replenished the beads in my braids, and I've added more braids. I haven't bothered putting beads. I started doing the beads just before my birthday so that I could look festive for my birthday. But after the election results were not exactly what you call favorable, I lost the impetus to add more beads to it. I was not feeling festive. I was not feeling like celebrating. If we're going to have Joe Biden as president and he's going to undo most of the things that Trump did, I don't really feel in a very celebratory mood. And with the COVID ruining the holidays, what is there really to celebrate? I could see things being grateful for, and that is basically not catching this thing. And people organizing these public events where you could possibly get it and spread it, I don't think is a good idea. Especially if all these gatherings are not going to do any good anyway. It's not going to get president back, make sure that he's rightfully elected. And yes, Ma, you might see a long lost friend of yours whose email address and social media you don't have. Is it worth it to have the chance of getting exposed to this? And that's the thing, is that it all comes down to you weigh the risks and the benefits. And I have too much at stake for me personally. If I live totally by myself and there's no way that I could risk exposing other people, then even that I could maybe justify taking a chance. But even that, when you realize that you can come into contact with thousands of people, And I knew that every reason that I have for loving Washington, D.C., including the friendships that I have made there, there's no way that even if I go and try to make what I planned to do there as safe as possible, there's no real way to be safe in any of the things that I wanted to do. And I don't know how many people have stayed recently at the friend's place that I was going to stay with. So there is the unknown there. And I don't know how many people each one of them has been hanging out with. And the person that I stay with when I'm there, he hangs out and staffs the peace vigil where you could possibly be talking to. I don't know how many people would be I don't want to say hanging out there, but would be stopping there. I would like to think during a pandemic there'd be a whole lot less foot traffic, but you still have tourist traffic there. I don't know that Trump is the one that caused me to panic unnecessarily. The people that have been causing me to panic mostly are people like Dr. Anthony Fauci, the Centers for Disease Control, a lot of the Democrats, actually. It's more the people like Biden or the people that are talking about a national mask mandate, or actually my own governor, Phil Murphy, who's talking about, uh, okay, so you're thinking that if people were conscientious with the masks, one of the things that really disappointed me when I was planning on or thinking about going to that march was people would start these threads on the groups on it for that in Facebook, and they would say, or can we get away with not wearing the masks? There are so many people that wanted to have freedom, and to them, freedom was freedom to not protect themselves. And why would anybody want to turn down any chance at even partial protection? I didn't understand that. And since I don't live by myself and I have other people to think of besides myself, there's a part of me that was jealous of those people that they got to do that. But if we just hold off a few more months until this finally blows over, however it blows over, so that we don't have any more deaths than have already happened, and if some of this is personal responsibility that hopefully will have a positive impact on people around you. So that that sense of guilt obviously didn't stop more people from going. And I felt that by not going, I felt like I was letting a bunch of people down, to be perfectly honest with you. I felt like I was letting myself down. I felt I was letting my YouTube channel down. But sometimes I wonder why our country doesn't pay people to stay home. But then again, making sure that the people that need it the most get it. So many people have fallen through the cracks and are not eligible for stimulus checks unless you filed a tax return this year in the last. Uh, yes, well, I don't know about the word slavish, but he's an absolute, unabashed capitalist. He is absolutely, yes. And yes, some people feel that in order for the capitalist system to exist, there has to be the very prosperous and there has to be an underclass that works below minimum wage or that doesn't work at all. If you believe that the rich and the poor cannot, that they have to mutually coexist, that you cannot have middle class and upper class and rich without an underclass, I would like to hope that that's not true, but I would like to think that just because there's a winner doesn't mean that there has to be a losers. I would like to think that there can be win-wins. But that said, I could also say that my time in Los Angeles and my time in San Francisco, when I was quite what you would call poor, my quote unquote poverty gave me eligibility for a lot of things, including very good health care. Sometimes not having a lot of money makes your life less complicated. When you know that you can get insurance, you don't have to pay for it, and there's no deductible, and you know that all your medicines are always free, and that was very comforting. The one thing though that wasn't free, dental wasn't free. There was no cleanings weren't free and stuff. The only thing that you can get free was a Yankee, and that's where you're talking about your socialized medicine. Now I understand in order to have your socialist medicine, you're taxed quite high. And that's the thing. And one of the things that I worry about the upcoming Democratic administration is what it's going to do for taxes. I might not be making enough to worry about taxes now, but fortunes can change. And if something wonderful happened and I wasn't poor anymore, then I'd be bitching and moaning about taxes, and I'd be thinking, oh, New Jersey is supposed to be one of the higher tax states, which of course California is too. I think my mother has to pay $200 or $300 a month just for her health insurance. Well, taxing to scale, the thing is, if I work harder, so I'm making more money, and I don't believe that. People keep on coming up with that number, but there are so many millions and millions of dollars that he paid. He had no choice but to pay. There's the income taxes, there's the sales taxes, there's the taxes that are as a result of having the permits. When you're a real estate developer, you have to have permits for all kinds of construction. You have to have, well, just like when you work in movies. If you decide that your company, your LLC or whatever it is going to have a movie, you have to have all kinds of permits for filming. I want to work film on such and such a street. You have to have permits for everything. It's ridiculous. And some regulation is obviously necessary so that we have standards for building codes for safety, what have you. But too much regulation is very burdensome to people. It costs money, too much taxes hurts the middle class, especially. And if you tax rich people, those are the people that are the job creators, and you make it so that they can't create jobs. And also, it makes it harder when something happens like this worldwide pandemic. Imagine the people in the food service industry, the farmers. I can't even imagine what it's like for them. Yeah. Well, I don't, excuse me, I don't aspire to be poor forever. And I will never like socialism. And so many people who I think find it attractive don't know what it's like when it actually is carried to its logical progression. When you look at places like Venezuela, where what happens to the people? When the government controls the means of production, the people have no freedom. There's no incentive to really produce, to try to make yourself better, because you know that no matter how harder you work, you can't better yourself. Those people are slaves. I mean, my mother is on collect Social Security. My brother went on disability, so he's on some kind of Social Security, and he can work some, but only a certain amount before that risks his whatever his health benefits are. So I could see where it is kind of a slavery in a way. You know that you can't work a bunch and risk those benefits that might make the difference between you making your rent and not being able to make your rent. So yes, people know that they can't afford to mess up so that they can at least have their bills paid and stuff. And I could see between my brother and my mother the struggle that they're going through. And now with COVID and it being hard for people to get their unemployment, there's things going on with the casino that he was working with. The company, and I'm not naming any names. There's a company. Sometimes there's different companies that work inside the casinos that work in off the gaming floor, but inside the darker back parts of the casinos, like when they have the online gaming. those are people that they're not on the casino floor and they're just dealing in front of a camera. And some of the companies that actually oversee these are companies they're not even United States companies, but they happen to be working inside the back of Atlantic City's casinos. And in the casino that my brother had been working for, the second person has tested positive for COVID-19. Okay. And the thing is, they had been trying to pressure him to go back to work. And he said that because he is a caregiver of a 79-year-old mother, and when you are responsible for and you're in direct contact with somebody that's in a high-risk group, then you have to make sure that any job you do, that they have it as safe as possible, and they cannot put you in those very dangerous positions. And yeah, the COVID is spreading like wildfire. That's why I understand why anybody's having any protests or any gatherings at this point. So what happened is my brother had to take my mother to one of her doctors and get a note and took it to his job so that he would be, I think he applied for family leave or something. And then he said that he hadn't been there long enough that he wouldn't qualify for it anyway. But they had sent him previously, a couple of weeks ago, a letter saying if he didn't come to work soon, he was going to lose his job. And his attitude was, then fire me then. Because in order for you to apply for unemployment, you have to be fired. So when workers are afraid to come back to work because they heard that COVID had been there, that's not an illegitimate cause for concern. And yet when I see people on the boardwalk on days when it's beautiful and there's kind of a lot of people there, people don't seem as concerned. There's a lot more mask wearing, but other than that, people don't seem as concerned. And when I'm looking out my window, I'm seeing people hugging each other. I'm seeing more mask wearing, but not more than between a half and 2/3. A lot of the people that are really hanging out the most, doing the drug dealing and the gang banging and stuff, they are very rarely wearing masks at all. If they do, it's an ear ornament. It hangs off one ear, or they do the chin strap thing. I don't understand the people that have to have it down here to smoke. When I've seen the ones that you can buy online, they have a little hole in them. They have a Velcro trap door, and they have a little hole for a straw that you can drink out of it. And if you can drink out of it, I'm sure you could smoke out of it. There's really no excuse. So, yeah. Well, I do want to order those masks, 10 purple masks and 10 red masks, and they're supposed to be 3M N95s. Well, actually, no, they're not 3M, because 3M I don't believe comes in all the different colors. 3M just comes in that teal blue color. There's this other thing that I thought was a real good idea. It was a plastic cage that puffed out a face mask, especially if you have a different kind of face mask, so that it's more comfortable around your nose and mouth so you can breathe easier. And it was a pack of 5, so I could share. I'm going to get one for my mother to make it easy for her. Every time she wears, even if it's a surgical mask, it feels very suffocating to her, and she has problems with her breathing anyway. I'm thinking those shields, those cages, those would be good for some decorative mask. Like for something like this that doesn't have the real protection, obviously, of an N95, but it really is beautiful. And for those times when I'm going to want the attractiveness. And this has space that you can put a filter or pouch or something. I used a coffee filter and I folded it in thirds and then I folded it in half. But one thing I found is that it shifted around too much. I think that would make it even harder to breathe over the N95. But you know what? Hold that thought. I still have some more sequin masks that are supposed to come over, uh, come out of my wish order. Some of them should be arriving around the time of Thanksgiving. Okay, let's see. Oh, here is a printed surgical mask. I thought, oh, don't drop. Yay. Good, the masks didn't drop. Look at this. And I'm thinking you can wash these in soapy water with a bleach. Yeah, I think that it's probably not a bad idea to have a repertoire of masks. I didn't think that I would need more than the 2 original N95s that I was given. I had not anticipated that this thing would be with us so long. So these are my original N95s, but the elastic is starting to go on one of them. It's actually not starting to go, it's been gone. And that one, it just slides off my nose all the time. And a mask that you always have to fiddle with is not going to be any damn good. But now I would imagine if you put something else on it, that maybe could hold it on better. I don't think these things would look good underneath the sequin masks, though, because the sequin masks seem to at least look good on the face. I don't want something that might have a pretty design on it, but looks all puffy and ugly and makes your jaw look really giant. I really don't like the look of these masks. They may be the best kind. Maybe the smaller size would look better, but they look too duck-like. And this is the one that's got the broken thing. But I'm going to see if using a surgical mask in front of it will cause it to stay on better since the elastic is broken. It smells good because it was just washed. Oh, I see. That just makes it giant. I think this makes it look like I have a fat face. Or do you think that people just accept it because they know that you're supposed to be wearing face masks? Is that okay? It's okay? Alright. I thought this was absolutely beautiful. And I love the idea of color coordinating these with your outfits. Ironically enough, I have some more Trump stuff coming in the mail. In this current wish order, they have Trump rings. And I haven't been wearing rings for the past, since I got the arthritis diagnosis in my hands and stuff, in my hands and my feet. But I rediscovered that you can still wear rings. And so I'm going to be getting a Trump ring, even though it's kind of ironic that I'm finally getting this stuff when it's kind of too late. I like my memorabilia. It doesn't bother me. I got I had 3 or 4 George W. Bush shirts, but I mean different shirts. I don't just mean the long-sleeved inauguration shirt. That would be great if he did. Of course, some people are saying to think how old he'll be then, especially if he doesn't change his diet. It seems to me that he claims that he eats a lot of junk food, a lot of Big Macs and KFC and stuff, and he really needs to um, watch his cholesterol and his calories. He looks much younger than he is, but you have you noticed just this past year the stress? I mean, think of it. I cannot even imagine the stress of the presidency, but every president, their hair goes gray. Look at Obama, and they might still look great in the face, but their hairs go gray. And Trump, my mother was telling me earlier that she thought that maybe President Trump really hadn't contracted corona. And I said, well, if he hadn't done it, then how would you explain all these guys in the Secret Service getting, and so many other people in the White House, and people in the mainstream media referring to the White House as a super spreader? So, and he did. Uh, but his face didn't start looking like an older guy until the plastic face shields, they say, are absolutely useless. But you know what? You can have them in front of the N95. Yeah. But I saw some lady the last time I was at a Dollar Tree. She had, or no, I beg your pardon, I was at Best Buy. And this was the day that I did the live stream in the Best Buy parking lot. And yeah, but you could wear the face shield in front of an N95. And now they have designer plastic face shield. You can get one that's either Yves Saint Laurent or one of those kind of designers for $1,000. You can get like 50 cents worth of plastic, like something that you could probably make using a 2-liter soda bottle. Uh, I I don't know. I could have gone to Washington D.C. I feel so I feel so many mixed feelings about that. I had the money saved and everything, and I got the equivalent of the bus fare there and back for a birthday gift from somebody. So I had all the means to go there, and but I guess I guess I'm glad I didn't go, because how can I protect my mother? There are certain common areas that everybody's in this house. The kitchen, I can't stay out of the kitchen. I can't stay out of the bathroom. What am I going to do? You use a couple of pots, go to the beach. I mean, come on, and the exits. There would be no way that I could totally isolate myself from everyone in the house. And the cats, if I touch them, how do I protect other people from touching? It just. Oh. Still, that may have been my last chance to do a Trump kind of thing. I kind of thought of going out today sometime and seeing if I could find something. Uh, but it felt like it was getting so cold, and it would be quiet out there for a while, and then I would see some people hanging out that weren't there for uh good reasons. Let's put it that way. So, and again, I was thinking that it was chilly, and so yeah, and here now there's no more eating indoors as far as the restaurants and things. It's all takeout. And in the casinos, the casino gambling is still going on, but there's no more food and beverage service in the casinos. You can't get drinks while you're playing games anymore. You can't drink indoors in the casinos anymore. All the food has to be takeout. one of the things I observed with the people lined up for the takeout the last time I was in any of the casinos is that even though they usually had signs like stickers on the floor saying every 6 feet, but people, there's no way they were 6 feet apart. And even though they have all these signs requiring people to wear masks, they don't say what kinds are better than others. Sometimes there will be a security guard that will be stationed with a whole package of what looks like surgical masks. That's how, well, you may have seen the earlier video. I actually got a couple of them from the Tropicana one afternoon. At the time, I didn't feel like going in there with one of my Trump masks. So this one I like. This is certainly a lot better than the one from the 99-cent store. Did you ever put plexiglass for the deal? Yeah, well, actually, the plexiglass from what I saw was, say, it's a poker game. They had plexiglass in between the players, and they had the shield, kind of like when you go to a lot of stores and you're at the cash register, there is a plexiglass shield that's hanging down so that there's no inner spray in between the cashier and the person ringing up their stuff. I noticed with the slot machines in some of the casinos, they actually, I think with it's Caesars, they did this. They put a bright colored, what looks like a seat belt on every other seat so that there's no way somebody could sit right next to another person that was playing. I liked what I saw in a restaurant. It was a picture I saw of restaurants in California. Some had teddy bears or stuffed animals in seats so that people couldn't sit next to other people. I'm thinking, why don't they do that for the city buses here? I just do not understand. I feel so uncomfortable when I have to ride a city bus in New Jersey. Why? They use this plastic chain like material, the same kind of chain stuff that I hang clothes on and stuff here, and they use that to give like about 12 feet berth around the driver. And so the space for the people to sit is like the back half of the bus. So of course we have no choice. Eventually, if first you can keep the 6 feet because people sit as far away from people as possible, but as it fills up, eventually people are going to end up sitting right next to each other, and then obviously you can't do any social distancing at all. And even though everybody's supposed to wear a mask, I've seen people to wear the mask and have their nose stick out. So, and then I've gotten yelled at when, to avoid being face to face with people, I decided to stand up. And so I've gotten off the bus before my stop just because I felt too uncomfortable with the whole idea that we're all riding this thing together. Normally, I really love riding on buses, but if you have to worry about sharing the air, at least when I walk through the casino, I'm not standing around up against people. I'm walking through, getting from point A to point B. It's a totally different thing when you're sitting in a bus and you can't move. And I get nervous with each new person that gets on. I'm like holding my breath and I'm thinking, don't sit near me, don't sit near me. If I have a backpack, I'll sit with it on an angle so it takes up as much space as possible. And what I don't understand is why people sit on the same, if people are like on the left or the right, you would think people would alternate it so that there would be less chance of you getting close to people. But no, if somebody's taking the aisle seat, like almost everybody will take the aisle seats. So they're right, they feel like they're up against you, and that makes no sense at all. No, and not all the drivers are as vigilant about what the passengers are doing. Some of the drivers, if they see somebody take off their mask, like to make a cell phone call or something, they'll pull over in the address and they'll make a public address system thing, and they'll say, "Excuse me, I won't get on. Turn the key in the ignition until you put your face mask on," or something. Others will just keep driving their merry way and they won't say anything. and I'll feel too intimidated to say something. There was this guy that had his nose sticking out, and for longest time I didn't say anything, and finally I mentioned that that was doing absolutely no good, and I explained to him that when he exhaled through his nose, that was just unfiltered air that was going through everybody, and it wasn't fair to the rest of us. Whether he listened to me or not, it's hard to say. And I didn't feel like walking all the way up to the driver and saying something. Uh, that's something that I know that you can do when you're on a Greyhound bus, and technically any driver has the authority. But I was really glad when it got into Atlantic City. It's one of the places, one of those buses that kind of feels like it's nonstop from Pleasantville to this one particular stop when it first gets away from the Atlantic City Expressway and the mouth of the Atlantic City Expressway, and you've got the train station and the new Atlantic City Convention Center, and that's the area of the shopping stores called the Walk, and then it turns onto Atlantic Avenue, and the very first stop is when uh, that's the closest that you can get before going deep into the city. And of course, that would be when I guess a lot of the people would get off. Uh, I just really do not feel comfortable riding the buses here. Now, I understand with Greyhound, they do things to get 5 times the fresh air and stuff, but still, that's another thing that made me real nervous about that. The bus ride there and back. And usually one of the most fun aspects to my trip, riding the Greyhound bus. Nothing about this trip would have been safe. And where would I have quarantined for 2 weeks afterwards? I mean, really, I can't go and get a hotel room. It's too cold to try the Underwood Hotel. And any other place that I would go to with any other people, I would be putting them at risk, so it wouldn't be fair to them. It just, there did not seem to be a way to make this thing safe. And I felt bad about it. I really did. It didn't, and it really bothered me, the attitudes of so many of the people that were attending, that whenever I brought up any concerns about security, they were like, and finally somebody said, well, look, if you even think that it's too risky, if you think you shouldn't go, then maybe you shouldn't go. It's not like people shouldn't be putting this thing on. It's only if you think it's too dangerous, you shouldn't go. It still makes me feel bad that so many people thought that this was safe enough to even consider. And maybe why this is getting to me is maybe it's the same thing, is the fact that, okay, since I haven't had a drink since 2004, therefore whenever I look at people that are able to drink and it doesn't seem to make them feel like they could misuse it. If I see somebody that I like, and they're drinking something that I used to drink, and of course don't dare touch anymore, and I feel a little bit sad, maybe the wishful days of, no, I'm not in Washington. I screwed up. I thought about it. I planned to go. I even packed. But then I started watching a bunch of health videos. I started listening to Dr. Anthony Fauci, and I listened to Dr. Seigel. He was interviewed on one of the talk radio shows, and he talked about COVID for 2 hours a couple nights ago. And he was talking about how dangerous it was, and how easily contagious it was, and all these things that people were doing, these large crowds, and these holiday celebrations and Thanksgiving celebrations, and I realized that there was absolutely would be no way to make what I wanted to do safer. There would have been no way. All the things that I had planned would have been very high risk things. And I was planning on getting high. I was planning on getting stoned. I was planning on smoking weed. Obviously, it would have felt too dangerous to be passing bowls around, so everybody would smoke their own bowl. So that's another thing, that the ways that you would mitigate the dangers would make the whole experience really weird. Yeah, and then I heard Antifa showed up and was looking for Trump supporters to beat their asses and things, and I'm thinking that I would be carrying my computer to film. Like, that's how I usually film. I have so much footage you guys have not seen from last year, and I usually walk around carrying my computer like people would use a selfie stick with their cell phones. And so there would be no way to get good footage real far away. There would have been no way to stay 6 feet apart from people. And the place where I was going to stay, I don't know how many of his friends he's been letting stay there. Nothing that I could have done could have been that safe. They do have open air Alcoholics Anonymous meetings. I was going to check out an AA meeting. Uh, DuPont Circle, I believe, is the place where, one of many places. The DuPont Circle is actually a park, and you could find it on a Washington, D.C. map. There is normally a fountain in the center, but it's dry for the most part. And I think it looks like uh, women with Grecian urns and flowing gowns. Um, like there may be 3 of them, I believe. I think that's what's in DuPont Circle. But yeah, I realized about 3 nights ago that I wasn't going to make it, but I still made the video that I made because I figured packing videos are always good. And I knew that there was going to be some people that didn't watch all the way to the end, and they would just had assumed that since I was packing, I was going to go anyway, even though I would think that more people would be concerned about the virus. And as I was following the local statistics, it's getting worse and worse here also. Our own governor, when he said that, oh, no sports indoors, uh, that's canceled, anything the full contact sports. Well, do you lift weights? I love when I get to stay in hotels that have nice gyms. Sometimes the gyms are really small. My friend who I stay with when I go to Washington, D.C., they have a little gym in the basement of the hotel, excuse me, not the hotel, of his apartment complex. But the gym has been closed, and they have a TV/internet room that has Wi-Fi in it. And they also, his rent comes with free coffee. This rent, let me tell you about it. This coffee is the most amazing coffee. It's a free coffee maker. You don't have to put money in it. You can put, I put this nice big black mugs that I usually use for my soup bowls in there. He has them in his place. And I usually bring sweet and lows or honey or something when I go there. And there's like 4 different flavors of coffee, and one of them is decaf. And these are real good high-end fancy coffees like you would get at Starbucks or any good coffee shop. And this is all free. And you just stick the coffee mug under there, and it has sensors that knows how much water and coffee to put in there, and it grinds the beans before making your coffee each time. And there's a nice big widescreen TV, and there's a remote control, and there's some real comfortable seating, and there's electrical outlets and things, and um, temperature controlled, and really comfortable seeing. And you can plug your laptop computers in there, and Wi-Fi is enabled there, and it's really great. And so that way people can have apartments there, and if they can't afford to pay for internet or cable TV, and my friend does not have home internet, and he doesn't have cable, or maybe, okay, he didn't have cable the first couple of times I stayed over there. The last time I was there, he did have cable, but I think it was an extremely basic cable. They had CNN, but they did not have Fox News Channel. Yeah, I know what you mean about the good pain. The good pain and knowing that you actually gave yourself a workout. I know that I appreciate that pain. If I came from grocery shopping and I caught a couple of meat sales. Usually, to get a good sale on chicken parts, you have to get at least 10 pounds. And so I have all these different kinds of meat, and I really loaded up in this kind of laundry cart. And sometimes I worry about, I hope I don't break the cart, and then how the heck am I going to get home? Because it's not like I can call with the cell phone that, of course, I don't have, and to be picked up in a car that nobody has. I kind of would be shit out of luck. One time I actually had a cart break on me, and I had to go back to Save a Lot and put $20 on a credit card to buy a new uh, laundry cart. And those things are so flimsy. They feel like they're not going to handle what you put in the thing. So, and even though I try to know kind of what I'm going to buy when I get to a store, well, I don't shop like that since the pandemic. I really don't. I really feel more comfortable doing my shopping on the internet, but I've never yet shopped for groceries on the internet yet. I know a lot of people feel very comfortable with it. I think for certain things, there's nothing quite like seeing it in person. Especially, I like to be able to read the labels, know exactly what I'm getting. I want to check the prices, know exactly how much I'm paying for it. If I have coupons, I want to be able to have a rational, sensible experience. The whole idea of giving somebody a list, and you know darn well it's going to be so much more expensive, and then there's going to be service charge, and then they're going to expect a tip, and it's just this whole, and so much of the things are sight unseen, and you're dealing with fresh produce and things. I like the experience of actually seeing it, eyeballing it. When you're comparing different kinds of ground meat or different kind of things, there's nothing like having the hands-on experience. But I really have, for all the other things that are not like that, I love just doing things on the internet, not having to deal with going in someplace. The last couple of times I was in a Dollar Tree and a couple of 99-cent stores, I felt uncomfortable, partly because there was this aisle that I wanted to go in, but there was people that were in it and they were really loitering. And I'm standing around, getting impatient, not wanting to go cross past people because I would get too close to them. And even though I had the best damn mask that you could have for the situation, I still felt like I probably ended up standing and loitering around twice as long as I wanted to, just because I was trying to evade certain people that were just really annoying me. And in the food section, which is where I spent most of my time, I didn't find really what I was looking for. Oh, so, and I never did make it to Central Pier. It's probably just as well that I didn't do any filming today. I didn't know. It sounded like there was maybe even the possibility that I was going to catch some kind of a demonstration, and not for any causes that I cared about, but something else. And I always feel very vulnerable when I've got my computer exposed. Sometimes yes, sometimes no. They have signs saying to do it. Walgreens has signs saying to do it, but that's a big chain store. All the stores seem to have signs in the window saying that you have to have a mask on and you're supposed to observe social distancing. The stores a lot of times have signs saying how many people are allowed to be in at one time. I feel bad that I haven't been working out as much as like 3, 4 years ago. I was really hardcore, and I can remember the day that I just, like, I was waking up and I was doing working out when I was half asleep, and I'm doing like running in place and stuff near my doorway, and half asleep and starting to be almost falling asleep a little bit and hitting my elbow up against the woodwork, or that wobbly feeling in your ankle when you're really, really tired, and the running in place when you're just tired, and all of a sudden you get that weak ankle for a second, and it jars you back awake. what I was doing was instead of doing the on-demand videos, I was actually watching these videos when the show was coming on TV. There's this guy I was working out to on JLTV. That's Jewish Life Television. That's 163 on Comcast, I believe. And this guy, his name is Gilad Janklowitz. He came on as early as 6 in the morning, 6, 7, 9, 11, something like that. And I would get up whenever, if I would say I just filmed a video, then I was getting ready for bed, and all of a sudden, his uh, workout program was starting to come on. I would feel obligated to tie my hair up and put my workout sneakers on and the shorts or whatever, and go work out, lift weights, do whatever. And I really enjoyed the kickboxing videos the most. I really enjoy, because that gives you both. It gives you the muscle thing, and it gives you the aerobic thing. But that I also enjoy the weights. I have baby weights. I don't have really big dumbbells or anything. Uh, and I have some other fitness gear that I got in Central Pier. No, excuse me, not at Central Pier, at Peanut World. I got one of those wheels that you kneel on and you do like for abdominals and things. And so many of the things that I have, I can't use in this apartment because the floors are warped. When you have warped floors, that makes it hard to get a symmetrical workout. When you're doing lunges and you're doing weights and things, you have to turn. Yeah, you have to turn around so that you get the same uh, uh, workout on the other side. You want to do it as symmetrical as possible, and it's really hard with the incline. In every room and most of the hallway, it's uneven because this building has been here since like the 1930s or something. It's supposed to be really sturdy though. It's been through a lot of storms and things. But one of the things I don't like is uh, occasionally they have tornado warnings or tornado watches. And I'm thinking, if we did get one, what kind of safe room do we have? You're supposed to have a room that doesn't have any windows. It's supposed to be interior and as low as possible. We don't have a basement. We don't have access to whatever downstairs. And the stairwells both have a really narrow brick wall, which would probably disintegrate like nothing. And I'm thinking of, okay, they're not the bathroom here, but the bathroom down there doesn't have any windows, but still it has an outside wall that is close to a stairwell that has a little window in it on the other side, and I don't think that that's all that internal. So I would prefer to be able to be on the ground floor. But downstairs they have a lot of plate glass windows and things. That would obviously offer no protection. And then, of course, when you're on the ground floor, you have no protection against flooding. But when we do flood here, the flood doesn't stay down for long. It does eventually drain within an hour. It can go from like 6 feet deep, like a foot deep, but then it does go down. And when Hurricane Sandy was here, I was taking pictures. It was really interesting, all the debris that was floating down. It was almost like a little river, but then it stopped and it drained. Oh, I don't like smoothies. What about creatine? Some of my friends were into creatine or in the bone broth powder. And what I did before working out, I would go every couple of days or twice a week. I would go up to 7-Eleven and I would get one of those microwavable sausage sandwiches. It was just a biscuit and a sausage patty, and they tasted so good. And if I really wanted to live some, I would go to the Mexican market and I would get some portobello mushrooms, and I would tear off a few pieces. I would wash them first, tear off, towel dry them, tear a few pieces off, put them inside the biscuit and sausage patty, wrap it, shake uh, oh God, I can't think of it. Garlic powder and thyme on both sides of it. Wrap it in foil, put it in the toaster oven for like 300, 400 degrees for like 15 minutes on each side, or 25 minutes on each side, maybe, and turn it over. Yeah. Oh, eat that just before my workout or just after my workout for the protein. Each one of those sausage sandwiches, I know they have the nitrates or the nitrites. Oh, but I told you about this sausage that's absolutely amazing that doesn't have any nitrates, right? A couple of weeks ago. Yeah, I did tell you about this, but you know what? I'll go ahead and be a broken record. If I find this stuff again, I'm definitely gonna get it. This was the most awesome stuff. This 8Ls, this teriyaki, this tasted so good. This tasted like the stuff that the filling for pot stickers. This does not have any nitrites or nitrates. I am definitely going to contact them and tell them just how wonderful. Yeah, those were sausage meatballs. That's what those were. And it was only like a 12-ounce package. And 12 ounces, that's nothing. You know what? I'm getting thirsty, so I'm going to get my coffee cup and I'm going to grab some tea. And I thought my cup was here. My throat's a little irritated. I think partly due to smoke inhalation. All these past couple of days, I've been working on some vlogs, and the next post for me is going to be an edited up vlog of basically my real boring life. So, and it will involve a little bit of smoking weed. So be advised, Tuesday's video is not going to be for people under 18. I'm hoping YouTube doesn't slap me a 18 up thing on it, because when they do that, sometimes they do things like taking away your comments and your no, actually no, they wouldn't take your comments away, but I think whenever they make something 18 and up, what they do so that even when you get your coveted 1,000 subscribers plus, they take your ads away. And ads is one of few ways for YouTubers to make any kind of money. I mean, there's always affiliate marketing and stuff, and I'm sure I'm going to eventually do that too, but I'm not going to put ads on for products unless they're products that I really, really believe in. I think when you develop a relationship with people, there has to be trust there. And if I'm going to go just putting links just to make money, just and not care about things, and that's taking advantage, and I don't want to do that. Oh, why didn't she tell me more songs? Sit this down tonight. There. Oh, yes, it's definitely hot. Can you hear the hooting and hollering out there? There was a time when I couldn't film around dinner time because the music was so loud. I'm tempted to call it next door. It's actually about a third of a block away. But they had such a stereo system. It was really, really booming, and it was just impressive. Impressive and annoying. And then I couldn't feel too benevolent toward them because I was thinking if they were having a number of people there, then that was just irresponsible of them to do that. Oh. YouTube tried to censor you, Emmanuel. I'm craving one of those sausage sandwiches. But you know what? I haven't had one since the last time I was in Washington, D.C., and I'll tell you why. They were 99 cents for the longest time. 99 cents a dollar, right? Then all of a sudden it jumped up to like $1.39 overnight. And I'm like, wait a minute, if I'm paying $1 and I'm used to paying, yeah. YouTube had this thing where it gave me an option to deny it or allow it to post. And I'm like, I don't censor my chat room. 99 times out of 100, I don't censor. People say whatever they want. Unless somebody who is my enemy here and is deliberately trying to cause shit, you know. This is my lime source. I found these at the 99-cent store. Like a year and a half ago. And it's dehydrated lime. I wish I'd gotten more of them. I got 2 or 3 boxes, and each box here has 100 of them. And each time I use some in my lemon, I don't use a whole packet. I use maybe a fifth of a packet, just a very small amount. And these also make limeade. They have lemon, the lemon kind also. And really, there's, hello? I can't tell whether I'm even still on or not. I don't see myself. You guys still see me? I can't see myself. I don't know if I'm even still on. I've got the camera going. What I'm about to do right now, since you don't know what I'm doing here, is I'm copying the link to this stream and I'm putting it on Facebook. I can't see the chat room. I can't see anything. Okay. I don't want you to hear dead airspace, which of course is not hearing anything. So I'm letting you know that I'm letting Facebook know that I don't know whether this thing is shut off or not. I don't know if it was testing or not. I cannot see myself, so I will shut my computer down. Oh, oh wow! What did you guys see? I thought this thing shut down. Oh, okay. Well, now I just told Facebook that I was shutting my computer down, but I guess, well, I won't. And look who's here. Look who's here. Oh, look who's here. Cassie girl. Oh, I wonder why I thought I was shut off. You see, the light's still on, though. The computer light's on. Oh, yes, the computer light's on. Yes. And I'm going to have some of this tea because I'm really thirsty. Oh, man, I can't believe that. I should have known the light was on. I'm thinking, oh, that's right. Drink your water. Mm. Man. Well, Marcus Conti, I've never heard of him. Dark Angel Grim Reaper, hi. Wow. Thank you for tuning in. I intended to start this a little earlier than I did today, but when I was filming the segments for the vlog thing that you guys will see Tuesday, I ended up cooking a little bit late, and I decided to film that. And it wasn't the cooking that I was planning on. In a couple of weeks, I want to cook with cannabis. So I've been told by some people that they like to see weed content. So I can do that. I think as long as I let people know ahead of time so that they don't inadvertently decide to use my channel as a babysitter. I really don't think that's a good idea anyway. At least watch an individual video and make sure it's safe first. Sometimes my videos are totally clean and I don't say any cuss words and I don't talk about any adult subjects. And what I'm wearing totally covers my bottom and stuff. And there's other times when I'm not as careful in the words that I use, and sometimes I may talk about subjects that are not for all ages. Hot tea is good. It's 3:07 in the morning. So when I saw that my wish order was really getting kind of on the big side, I contacted one of the companies that I do work for. Well, I can't say I'm working because what my work is it's a company that it's kind of like Nielsen, and it determines what I'm doing with the internet traffic. And they're like Nielsen, and they have a set box that is attached to my wireless router. And every month they give me $5 they credit my account with. And when it gets up to $50, they will send me a $50 Visa debit card. And they can be used like any credit card is used. And every time you get them you get $50, you can cash out. You can also get it as an e-code, and now they have it so you can get it direct to PayPal, which I would actually prefer. The only thing is, in order for you to get PayPal, you have to use the same email address that is your PayPal email address, and Digital Reflections is on actually a different email. And I don't know. What I've been doing is I've been having them send me physical Visa cards. The only thing is, when you apply to have a card sent to you, you have to wait 3 weeks. So you don't get a card sent right away when you want to shop. You can have it sent, but just know that you have to wait 3 weeks. So I got these things that I want to buy on wish.com, and I got to wait for these cards to come in. But that'll include those new N95s. And, let's see. Will that include a new Pussycat? Maybe I'm going to buy a new Pussycat from China. A new Pussycat from wish.com. Would you like that? A new Pussycat to hiss at and chase after and growl at and threaten and give you dirty looks too. Yeah, I'm gonna buy a cat from China, right? I'll buy a Chinese cat. Oh, Marcus Conte. I will take that under recommendation. Oh, no, don't you give me gungy bungees now. Come on. Yeah, everybody wants to see you. Look, Cassie. Oh, all right. God. It's supposed to rain tomorrow here. I wonder if that's going to affect. See, I still have so many mixed feelings about that march. I feel like I really missed something, but I don't know what's with all these people that are dead set against wearing a mask. They feel that it shouldn't bother. It doesn't seem to bother them that they may be putting other people at risk. And even if they don't care about taking on the risk themselves, what if they become an asymptomatic carrier and they transmit it to somebody who has a compromised immune system? You know, and there's so many people that don't seem like they care about these things. And I'm not some goody two shoes. I'm really not, but I'm not willing to take that kind of chance. Oh, I'm just not willing to take the chance. Oh, what do you think of these pants? The only thing is, I don't understand. The pattern is only in the front. It's not in the back. And I don't know. I think that's stupid. If you have pattern on pants like those rock stars in the 80s, the spandex they had, it was in the front and it was on the back. I don't understand this. I don't want you guys thinking I'm a slob or anything. It's not that I'm deliberately disorderly. It's that I don't have any place for this crap. Oh, well, I'm going to. Oh, that's where you're at, Arizona? You know, I've lived in Phoenix and in Tempe, Arizona before. Can you guess what's in this? It's not coffee. Would you guys be offended if I showed you? You're not. Hide your children or your grandchildren. Hide your dogs and cats. Hide your police. Hide your federal agents. Hmm. Uh, State of New Jersey and 4 other states voted for full legalization of recreational marijuana. I believe it's all recreational. Maybe one of them may have just gone medical, or maybe 5 recreational, and then one went on medical. Oh, don't tell me this is all I have left. Oh, no, that's right. That's right. There's a wee little bit more. See, I always, if I am lucky enough to have a little something, I always make sure that there's something for the wake and bake. Because otherwise, when I inhale this late at night, a lot of times I don't feel it this late. But first thing in the morning, you have coffee has just been brewed and you have a little bit of weed. When somebody has been red pilled, that usually means they have been exposed to conservative leaning uh, uh, media. Like, okay, Rush Limbaugh. I always thought Rush Limbaugh was funny. I always thought he was smart. I thought he was a little bit on the obnoxious side. And that made me like him because I like my humor that's a little on the unfiltered side. But the funny thing with Rush, the more and more I listened to him and the older I got, the more I started agreeing with him. And then when some big cataclysmic event like 9/11 happened, uh, it really hit me in a very profound way. So when you say somebody's been red pilled, red refers to Republicans red, just like blue. If you blue pill somebody, that would be exposing them to a whole lot of liberal stuff and having them go from more conservative to more liberal. So, yeah, red pilling is what I'm trying to do with my mother. Monday through Friday, we listen to Rush Limbaugh together. And the main easy reason for that is because Rush Limbaugh happens to be on the oldies radio station that she likes the most. And I like to a certain degree. I don't like it when they play 50s music. I don't really like 50s music, but when they get into some of the music that they call oldies, is not music that I think of as being oldies. Because even though it is music that it is old to a certain degree, but I don't think of it as being old. The term going down the rabbit hole can be interpreted many different ways. One of the things that I like to go reading on and that I end up wasting a lot of time is a site called Quora. And Quora is a site, it's called Quora.com, Quora.com. And it's a site where people ask and answer questions. I haven't asked any questions yet, but I answer a whole lot of questions. Answer questions about skincare. Answer questions about a lot of diverse topics. I answer questions about cooking. I answer questions about food. I answer questions about rice. I answer lots of questions about rice. And I find questions about electric rice steamers and things. I find a lot of uh, uh, that's a nice name, Cora. Wasn't that the name of one of no, Cora Beth was on the Waltons. She was the married to Ike, and she was a pretty lady that ran the store, and she was rather strict. I gotta find a match. Oh. Oh, okay. Would you mind? Ooh. You know what? You know what? I'm having a hard time with this. I'm gonna hope that no pussycats are going to knock anything over that's on that boombox. That would really be bad. Oh, it's now 3:20 a.m. I hope this is a convenient for people. Corradina? That's pretty. So some of the things that I'm going to be getting on Wish. Oh yeah? Are a lot of them wearing masks, unmasked? What? Oh, I shouldn't show this on camera, huh? I don't know. Do you think I can get in trouble for this? No masks? I'm over 21. I hope I didn't get in trouble for this. But if you're babysitting some little kid at 3:21 in the morning, I didn't recommend you do that. Oh, oh look who's here. Oh my goodness. Oh, hi. Good morning, Tabby boy. Oh, are they calling it a super spreader? Well, I guess it's a good thing I wasn't there then. I didn't go there because I didn't want to get the COVID. I didn't want to get the COVID. No. Oh, I did not want to get it. Oh, Charlie boy, this is my baby. This is my baby. Oh, I love my baby. You know. Oh, oh, kiss, kiss. He's giving me kisses. Oh, oh, I love my baby. I don't want you picking my nose. Oh, oh, oh. Mm, mm. Oh, kiss, kiss, kiss. Oh, kissy. He's giving kisses. Yeah, I do take it seriously. The more articles I read, the MSN homepage has all these articles, and on Bing there's all these articles, and there's all these articles from different newspapers and articles from different magazines, and so many articles recommending people to wear masks, and articles about what masks are better than other masks, and then these ads for different kind of masks, and some I look at and they look like they might be worth the investment, but then the fine print says that they're not as good as an N95. Oh, okay. Thank you. Well, thank you for watching. I guess it's getting late. I hope I didn't get you in trouble by my smoke inhalation. I figured I really like to show a piece of me, and since we're getting more and more legalization, it's increasingly safer. And since I personally know people that are very, very open about it, so I figure if they can be open about it, then I am going to feel that I have the right to be more open about it too. Tabby boy, is that Tabby boy? Want to see Tabby boy? Tabby boy, Tabby boy. That's my baby. Oh, oh, that was, my knees did not enjoy that. I'm going to put the rest of these back. I'm going to let that fan run a while, because this kitchen reeks of weed. I could light a scented candle and put it in there. I don't know, I've been burning scented candles a lot. I like to smoke in the grow room the most. I find that way I can actually keep that door shut and it doesn't bother other people. Not that anybody would be bothered by it. Vic, Vic DeBetto, wasn't he also a DJ? As maybe I'm thinking of the WMMR Philadelphia DJ. And if he's who I think he is, he has made appearances for the radio station at the Golden Nugget Casino. And if it's not him, then I'm mistaken. Wanted to show you my ashtray. I'm going to put this someplace where the cats aren't going to knock it over. thinking maybe that candle would be a good idea. But I'm going to bring it out of the grow room and I'm going to put it in the kitchen. What I should do is I should take some other old wick pieces and use it to doctor up these candles that the original wick went down to almost the bottom, but there's still a lot of wax. First, see, I got into Kiss in the 80s. I really liked the 80s no makeup Kiss. But I ended up getting most of the Kiss albums. And I mean, I have the original vinyl. But I remember, you see, I was in beauty school when they had them on MTV. Yeah. But when I first met him, he was married. And to me, married means hands off. So once I hear that somebody's married, then I figure, okay, well, they're taken. So then for years, I assume that they're married. And then when I find out that they were single for a while, of course, during the time that they were single, I never knew about it because I still figured that they were married. Sometimes I feel like I'm one of very few people that actually takes this whole thing seriously about people that married people are supposed to be like they're invisible. You respect them and you respect the marriage, and you don't even think. Bruce Kulick. You were talking about Kiss. Bruce is Bruce Kulick, right? And anyhow, he was in Kiss for like 12 years, and then they got Eric Singer as their drummer, and they used Tommy Thayer as their guitarist. And anyhow, oh, oh, I'm sorry. I don't know where we went from talking about Kiss to talking about Bruce Springsteen. That totally confused me. Uh, I didn't know that was the Bruce Springsteen. Some of his things I like. Other things he's done I found rather annoying. It depends. He was quite a good songwriter. His songwriting reminded me kind of country music songwriters, and he was a really good storyteller. And he's somebody that a lot of New Jersey people felt a personal pride to them. To them, Bruce Springsteen was the New Jersey guy, and he was the everyman. He wrote songs for the everyman, and maybe that's why I didn't relate to a lot of his stuff, because he was coming from, I'm guessing, from a perspective of Jersey pride. And the experiences I had, like, I didn't have experiences in amusement parks in a car with a date, and going through all those kind of experiences like in Born to Run. So I didn't have experiences like that. My experiences growing up on the shore, there was a lot of negativity, and I didn't feel like I really had a lot of friendships and a lot of those kind of uh things, like the stories that he talked about in his songs. I so much that I just did not relate to. And this whole idea that in his songs everybody had to be partnered up with somebody else, otherwise there was no place for them in his world. And I just didn't really like that. And yeah, I was more metal. I really loved the British invasion wave of heavy metal, uh, bands like Iron Maiden. I loved Def Leppard. I loved the hair metal, quote unquote, a lot, and that's why I loved Los Angeles so much. And being able to dumb onto movie work, literally be tapped on the shoulder and asked if you want to do a walk on, and there's the truck that has all the free food, and you give them all your information and you get a check mailed out to you in a week, you know. I don't dislike Bon Jovi. As a matter of fact, I was in at least one of his videos for a song called "It's My Life." They did it in downtown LA, kind of in Little Tokyo. And what they did was they steam cleaned a tunnel to make it look like it was a tunnel going into New Jersey, but it was shot in Los Angeles. And I met this guy from Japan who was on vacation, and in order to get paid to work on a movie set or in most rock videos, you have to have a social security number. So if you're a Japanese citizen, you wouldn't have a social security number, so you wouldn't be able to get a film voucher, to get paid. So if you're going to be on the set and hang out, you're just going to hang out on the set, but you're not going to be able to get a check for it. So this kid, you could just tell that when he came back to Tokyo, which is, that's where he was from, he was going to get to tell his friends that he got to be in a Bon Jovi video. And experiences like that made it even more fun for me. You can kind of take things for granted after a while of doing things. But the director of that video was Wayne Isham. I remember that there was a guy that had a New Jersey license plate, or a license plate that had something to do with Bon Jovi or something, but it was one of those custom plates. And the director told him that he couldn't show it on video. I also, is at one point, had to stand behind a guy in a wheelchair, and I'm pretty sure that I wasn't visible in any part of the video. But when you work on a video, it's like when you work as a movie extra or anything else. You're glad that you're going to get paid every day that you're there. You're paid, and every day that you're there, you get a check cut out to you. They have all these ways of bumping up your check. The more of your own personal wardrobe you show up with, the more they bump up your check. If they expose you to fog machines, they bump up your check. If they expose you to any kind of smoke, they bump up your check. If they delay when you're supposed to be fed, they call that a meal penalty, and they bump up your check. Every 15 minutes, your meal is delayed. They add more to your check. If you get overtime, they add more to your check. And this is even if you're non-union. If you happen to get a union voucher, then you're making a lot more money than you normally do. And I had an agent and everything, and I was really lucky. I had the best kind of agent. I had the kind of agent that did not take a percentage of my money. What was in it for him is he made sure that there was work for him. And he was Screen Actors Guild, so he was always making union wages. But it was great when you occasionally would get union wages, getting SAG vouchers as a non-union person. It then you could make as little as $59 and as much as like $149, maybe more. And then occasionally the money would actually be under the table. Like I did some kind of rock video in Chatsworth, which is a suburban area north of Los Angeles that's considered a bedroom community, and also a lot of pornography is shot there. All these houses that look like every other house, and you just never know what's actually in there. I just throwing that out there. Anyway, I don't remember the band. I'm trying to remember the singer's name was LaShawn or Deshawn, and it was a metal band. They had a black lead singer, and and he had facial piercings, and we talked. He was a real nice guy. They used big spotlights, and they used a rain machine, and you're getting water poured on you like a rain thing, and it was only a 2-day set. And I noticed there's a lot of people that weren't taking it seriously. You could tell there's some people that won't take direction and talk all the time when they stay quiet on the set and things. No, it wasn't King's X and it wasn't Living Color. I've seen King's X in concert before. Matter of fact, I saw King's X at the Borgata Hotel Casino here in town at the Music Box like 3 years ago. I have a couple of their CDs. I had a tape that I played with me. I don't take a lot of music when I take the Greyhound bus cross country. I tend to use that time for silence or to listen to local radio when you're passing through these little hick towns and wherever. I listen to a lot of country music on radio stations when I'm on the road, but I love King's X. I don't listen to any current music at all. Oh, you guys noticed something? This is partly to give me some privacy and discretion so that I don't feel that I'm on display, especially at nighttime. The drug dealers can be out selling their whatever and they don't see me. And, it makes me feel much more like I could reclaim my life. So, and this also, I think, will do something about some of the UVs coming in as much. I mean, I would really like to cover the windows more, but if I do that, then the plants won't have as much things getting at them. And you can see the tomato plants. And you figure by the time the spring happens, they're going to be another foot and a half taller. Who is Jeff? Oh, Jeff Van Drew. That is okay. He was Democrat. He became Republican. He did not like when they were trying to vote to impeach President Trump, and he thought that was unfair. And there were some other things that the Democrats were doing that he thought was a turnoff. So he switched parties. And whenever you switch political parties, that is a very controversial thing, as you can imagine. And he caught a lot of flack from his former party people. So, just before we had our Trump rally in Wildwood, New Jersey, that I wanted to try to get to, but it would not have been practical for me to try to get there. He went there, of course, and he got to spend some time on stage with President Trump. So on Facebook, they were having things asking if anybody wanted free lawn signs. So I said yes, and some guy in a pickup truck rang my doorbell. I opened up the window. He propped the signs outside, and I figured they're just as much an aid to help keep some of the sun out. Yeah, now he is. Well, he was already elected. He was elected, in Democrat. He switched Republican. He, I guess, kept up the rest of his seat. Um, and he recently ran again and he won. And anyway, it's interesting that even though Trump may not have done so well, a lot of the other Republicans did get reelected. Oh, did you see what else I taped up in the window? I know this probably looks so ghetto, but those blinds can get destroyed real easily. He is, yeah, U.S. Congress. Oh, I want to run this by you guys. Do you think it's ever okay to wear a tie with a Hawaiian shirt? Before you say no, I want to. for you to look at. This shirt is black and it's got dragons on it. As you can see, it's very neutral. And down at the bottom, you see a colored dragon. And the dragon is still very neutral, very gray and cream, and just very somber. And this tie is pretty somber. Oh, damn it. And it fell. No, just the edge fell. Anyway, I'm thinking of wearing this with a tie. Even though short sleeves are not appealing to me now, this room is rather chilly. And heck, you see, I'm just wearing a sweatshirt. Or no, I'm not. Earlier today I was. I'm actually wearing almost a sweater-like long sleeve shirt underneath this shirt. I wore the Trump thing specifically for this live stream. Good night, Emmanuel. I'm probably going to end this soon. I want to make sure there's nothing else in here. This has been an interesting stream. Oh, I see Cassie in a litter box. Good girl. Okay, Cassie, don't waste time. Get. Get. Thank you. All right. All right. I don't know if anybody's still here, but it is 3:45 in the morning, and this was really long. And you know what? I'm thinking maybe I should think about getting ready to go to bed myself. So if you guys enjoyed this, hey, hit the thumbs up and subscribe if you haven't already. And Tuesday, hopefully, I'll have a bunch of vlog stuff. You know what? I don't know if that's a weed or I need some more tea. So good night, everybody.